Welcome back, everyone. Today should be a relatively short review, but we'll see where things go. Just remember to like the video if you do enjoy my content, and subscribe. It would help me out a lot. Now, let's begin. We come back to Izuku being so happy, and at the same time can't believe the idol of the nation, All Might, has told him that he can be a hero. And I also have to ask, why did Horikoshi draw him with such a long neck? He looks like a giraffe.
Long.
All Might then adds that he thinks Izuku is the one that is worthy enough to pass down his power to. Of course, this confuses him, so he further explains that he never talks about his quirk because he was not born with it, and it was passed down to him by his master, and so on and so forth. And the name of this power is One for All. So after he explains everything, he asks Izuku if he wants to gain this power and all the responsibilities that will come with it. And of course, he accepts. We then cut to him cleaning up trash on the beach. He of course asks why he is doing this, and All Might tells him it's because his body can't handle One for All yet, so he will put him on a training regimen. Along with it, he will be doing community service, cleaning up the trash on the beach, showing that heroism isn't just all the flashy stuff. We see a montage of his training with months passing, until he reaches his breaking point because he is overworking himself. All Might of course chastises him for this, but Izuku explains that he has been training more than is required because he doesn't have a quirk and has to work even harder than everyone else. Loving his energy, he modifies the plan as we cut to the exam day, with a triumphant Izuku yelling on the final pile of cleaned up garbage, proud that he was even able to do more than what was needed, with us getting a shot of Izuku's new toned body from all of his training. And he still feels like he cheated since he got so much help from All Might, plus One for All. He then tells him to eat a strand of his hair because for the power to pass on, the receiver has to ingest the giver's DNA. We cut to Izuku getting to the entrance exams, and he almost falls on his face, but Uraraka catches him with her quirk and continues inside. With Izuku being happy he talked to a girl, even though he didn't.
Setting small, reasonable goals for yourself, one day at a time.
President Mike, a teacher and hero from the school, explains the rules, but is interrupted by a new character, Ida, who points out to him not mentioning a fourth robot on the sheet he gave them. He then explains that the fourth robot is not worth any points and is just an obstacle that they have to stay away from. Izuku then gets to the testing site with Uraraka and Ida being in his testing group. But suddenly, the start alarm goes off and everybody dashes into the fake city. A few minutes in, Izuku is getting overwhelmed by all the action that's going on, with him still not having a single point until the obstacle villain arrives. Izuku was of course going to run away from it until he sees Uraraka trapped under some rubble, so he goes back and finally awakens his power, destroying the robot in one hit. After doing that, he realizes that his arm and both his legs are broken, and that he is plummeting back down towards the ground. He prepares to break his other arm to cushion his fall when Uraraka hits him in midair using her quirk to save him. And he tries to quickly get at least 1 point, but the time is called. As he is wallowing in despair, the hero recovery girl comes to heal his limbs as we cut to a week later. A letter from UA gets delivered with a hologram player inside of it. All Might appears, announcing he will be working at UA and that Izuku didn't get any regular points, but there is a catch. He shows Uraraka came to President Mike after the test wanting to share her points with Izuku because he saved her, and he did not get any, but Mike lets her know that she doesn't have to worry because they both passed. There was a secret point system where they also graded everyone on how they saved others, not just the robots they destroyed. So because of his great heroism, he gained enough to get in, starting his heroic journey. Now, let's get on to the anime adaptation. I really liked his training montage in the anime, along with the music that played alongside it, with his triumphant moment of him screaming on top of the final trash pile being fantastic, showing how much hard work he went through the past few months.
Oh my goodness!
Then they changed the exam display to be more accurate with how the robots actually looked, since they probably did not want to take a chance on Nintendo getting them, since in the manga they show a blacked out image that is obviously Mario. And I like the 8-bit animation they use for the demonstration. I also really like the effect they use for One For All's activation with the red lightning spreading out through his nerves and body. And lastly, we get a short anime-only scene of Izuku coming out of his room telling his mom he got in, with her being extremely happy for him. We have a great Chapter 2 colored cover page of All Might and Izuku. We get a character profile on Izuku telling us he's 5'4", and the creator purposefully draws him plain looking, even though that may be bad for a protagonist. Bakugo's character file says he is 5'6", and he was originally going to be a genius that was an unintentional bully, but switched to his current self, liking the more gifted punk approach. Last is Uraraka, 5'1", with her file being that she needed to be more outgoing to drive her and Izuku's friendship, since he himself is so nervous around her, with us getting some info saying that Mount Lady was supposed to be the main heroine at first, but he couldn't see as much potential in her powers, so he eventually created her. Let us continue with Uraraka, talking about her voice actors. Her Japanese voice actor is Ayane Sakura, who also voices, I think, Eira from Dandadan and Solution Epsilon from Overlord. Her English voice actor is Lucy Christian, who has also voiced Nami from One Piece and Medusa from Soul Eater. Uraraka seems to be a nice girl, with the example of her helping Izuku twice and the fact that she wanted to repay him for saving her. That may have put her own spot in UA in jeopardy. Her ability seems to be making things float, so decently powerful, showing us that she raised the robots in the air and drops them from a high height, and can be used to save people like we saw with Izuku. Overall, a good character so far. Next is Ida, who is voiced by Kaito Ishikawa, who also voices Genos from One Punch Man, Sale from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and Jin from Dandadan. His English voice actor is J. Michael Tatum, who has also voiced Scar from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Zarbon from Dragon Ball Z Kai, and Enel from One Piece. We don't get a whole lot from Ida in this part of the story, just that he is a strict guy and his quirk relates to the exhausts on his legs. Lastly is Present Mike, who is voiced by Hiroyuki Yoshino, who also voices Ox from Soul Eater, Kimberly from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and Genthru from Hunter x Hunter, and the English voice actor being Dave Trosko. All we know is that he is a teacher at UA, and in the future he will be the announcer for all the explanations in the story. Bakugo did not do much in this section. We find out he stopped bullying Izuku after the villain incident, and now he is kind of known for what happened to him, which probably took his ego down a peg, where he did not feel confident in bullying Izuku anymore. Now with All Might, we find out even more about him. The big thing, of course, is that his quirk was passed down to him by his master, making him the 8th holder, and now Izuku the 9th. He also shows us that he is not just a brute of a hero. He made a training plan for Izuku over 10 months, and emphasized that defeating villains is not everything a hero should do. They should also help out the community, like clearing the trash off the beach. And then we find out he will be teaching at UA, so he will be alongside Izuku at school. Then finally getting on to Izuku. He got a major glow up here with his 10 months of training looking like an above average to maybe peak teen physique. And I do like that even with the number one's quirk being passed down to him, he still feels like he has to work harder and feels like he is cheating. It shows how much he appreciates the opportunity All Might has given him, and that he won't just be satisfied with being gifted the quirk. He will strive to become a great hero in all aspects, pushing himself to his limits, which is shown in how much he mutters to himself and thinks, showing how deeply he thinks about everything and planning things out in detail. Now, talking about One for All itself, even with the 10 months of training, like All Might said, he was lucky his limbs did not get blown off. But what happened to them is only 1 or 2 steps below that, with breaking all the bones in those limbs. I would say with 1 hit from him, he could destroy a decent amount of a building, but he would be useless afterwards, which will probably be his next hurdle to strive for. So, finally finishing up with these chapters, I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to go check out the playlist for the series, and of course like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe to keep up with all my content. With all this done, I guess I will see you guys later. Bye guys.